problem carefully together. I really need no chit chat, Abby.
He's very fucking up. You follow me. You look Lilo instead.
You want to move?
No.
Okay, then I need you to be quiet and pay attention.
Okay.
All right, here we go. It's time that you are starting to get in the groove of these linear programming problems. Okay, so we got a hamburger hot dog situation. And when you get your test paper, this is what it's going to look like. So everything's going to be kind of set up for you. And all you have to do is start reading the problem and plugging in what needs to be plugged in. Noticing that you have to put down an expression to maximize, and you have to write some constraints. Now, you may or may not fill all these blanks. These are the things you're going to graph. Okay? So let's read the problem, one sentence at a time. Well, the first sentence is just kind of fluff. To stay in business, it must sell at least 10, but cannot cook more than 40. What does that tell you? That's a fixed interval. If we let X be hamburgers, then you are between 10 and 40. And we're going to graph that. X has to be between, if we let X be hamburgers, then we have got to be between 10 and 40. It must sell at least 30 hot dogs, but can't cook more than 70. Another fixed interval, if we let Y be hot dogs, we're 30 to 70. And we're going to graph that. And we remember from graphing these before that these will be bars, right? Shaded bars, vertical and horizontal. It cannot cook more than 90 sandwiches altogether. What's that? The total number of sandwiches is 90. X plus Y has to be less than or equal to 90. Because you can't cook more than 90. The profit on a hamburger is 33 cents. The profit on a hot dog is 21 cents. How many of each kind should you sell to maximize profit? You want to maximize your profit, and how will you calculate it? 0.33x plus 0.21y. Perfect. You are set up and ready to roll. Does anybody have a question so far? Remember, not everything in the box needs to be filled in. Those empty spots are fine. We just have a box so that we can categorize each sentence. Now we're going to sketch it. Now you kind of have to look at your numbers. Those are pretty big numbers, right? So what do you think maybe our scale should be? 10. I think that's a good choice.
See me walking what I know. That's my dumb walk.
When we do this on the test, like, should we, like, do we have to tell you, like, what the scale is?
You will tell me by, here, I'll show you. Like this first one says X is 10. Okay, so you're going to have a vertical bar right there, and you're going to label that point 10 comma 0. So I'm going to know from your label what it is. And then I have another bar, 10, 20, 30. I have another one at 40.
Yeah.
Why are the, wait, never mind.
Great question.
Where will this be shaded? in between them. So we got this bar here. We said we're gonna have a bar. So this is my black bar right here.
So how do you know, like, where, like, is it always in between them?
Always in between. See where that X is, Maya? It's in between the 10 and the 40, so that's where I'm shading. Now I'm gonna do this one, and I'll do it in a different color.
Wait, so we shade in between the 10 and the 40?
Yep. I'm not shading because it makes my board even dirtier, but this is where you're shading, right in here. And now I'm gonna do this in red. Now this says Y is 30. So this would be where Y is 30. 40, 50, 60, and 70. Now, there are my red lines. Where is that shaded? In between them. So now I'm between black and between red. Aren't we looking at this box right here? If we're between black and between red, we're looking at that box. And now I gotta do this one. So remember how we do that when they're the diagonal lines? When they're the diagonal lines, we let each one be 0. So if we let X be 0, Y would have to be 90. And if we let Y be 0, it would be 90. X would be 90. Oh, I think I.
Goddamn. Follow 7. 13 minus something. Goddamn. Follow 11.
Now I'm going to connect those with a nice straight line. And on test day, I hope you'll consider bringing either a little ruler or a little note card or something to use as a straight edge. And maybe colored pencils
Can
or
I use the
something.
side of my phone?
I'm just gonna use my card. Yeah, it's what time I speak about.
Now,
We're done.
yesterday I missed one of these. Be careful. Am I above or below 90? So I'm going to shade below my purple line. So I'm inside this box, below the purple.
Quick question, how do you know it's below?
Less than?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So those are the corners of the region we're talking about. Okay, so we read our problem, we filled in as much of the chart as we could, we wrote some equations, now we've graphed them. All right, what happens now?
Find out.
Now we find out the points. There's going to be 5 of them. If they are on horizontal or vertical lines, they are easy. This one, right here where I am pointing,
It's easy.
has an X of 10 and a Y of 70. So this is the point 1070. This one is what point?
10:30.
1030. Those ones that are on horizontal and verticals, you should be able to tell right from your graph paper. How about this one? 40, 30. Now, that takes care of the ones that are right on the corners, the horizontal and verticals. This guy, look at this guy right here. The X coordinate is 40, but I gotta plug it into my purple equation to find out the Y. The X coordinate is 40. What's the Y coordinate then? If X is 40, Y would be 50. Now look at this one. What do we know about the Y coordinate here? The Y is 70. If the Y is 70, then X has to be 20.
I am just that.
And now we have all our points. Was there enough over here?
Does it matter the order?
No. Now, the order, I mean, you can't put 70, 20, but the order these points are no, not important. Now what do we do?
Remember for the lowest and highest?
We plug them in here, right?
Plug it in, plug it
And you're
in.
gonna have a calculator, so you can type it in on your calculator and you're gonna get each value. So, let's do this by rows. We don't have rows anymore, do we? So, would you guys over here, would you do the first point? You guys,
I got
would you
it,
do the
guys.
second point? Would you guys do the third point? Would you guys do the fourth, and you guys do the fifth?
You know, hit them buttons, do the matrix.
So tell me when you get your answer. Remember, you're plugging it into this. 0.33 times the x plus 0.21 times the y. What'd you get? 18 even
18 with
Yeah.
Peyton Manning.
for this one?
Yes.
18 with Peyton Manning.
For this one?
27 with no Sean
This one you
Moreno.
got 1950? 41? 21?
10.33
Come on, tell it to software.
And what'd you guys get?
$9.60.
Her daughter looks just like her.
$9.60.
Okay, so assuming that you all typed in correctly. Okay, let's not throw things.
Have you lost your mind?
I know, lotion is flying across the room.
No, 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 no.
If you typed everything in right, then how are we gonna answer the question? We should make 40 hamburgers
And a second-hand hot dog.
and 50 hot dogs for a profit of
$1,692.
$23.70. That seems like a lot of work for $23.
Right. But have you ever had my hot dogs or my hamburgers? My hamburgers are gourmet.
Okay. Stop.
Wait, Miss Ford. So what did you put like on these bottom two lines?
Nothing. I told you some of those will be empty. Use as many of those as you need.
Miss Ford, if you ever want a gourmet hamburger for the low, hit your boy up. Give me like maybe a little 5-point bonus.
Okay, now what I would like for you to
Best
do
hamburger that you want.
is I want you to turn to the other side of that page. And I want to go through part 6 with you. This is like the vocabulary section. So here we go. We're on part number 6. I just find number 6.
Just answer the
Number 6. It says answer the following. We're on practice test 1, number 6. And Bryce is already writing. All right, let's look down through A, B, C, D, E. You feel confident in any of those?
Yes.
Tim? 2 by 4, very, very good. The dimensions of A, the answer to A, the dimensions are 2 by 4, and we write that like this, 2 by 4. Where did the 2 come from, Katie Baumgartner? Katie, we're on practice test 1. There's 2 rows. Katie says there's 2 rows. Where did the 4 come from? There's 4 columns, right? 2 by 4. Anybody see anything else in there you're confident in? Katie Rock. B is going to be 5. And the reason B is 5 is when you say A sub 2, 1, that means second row, first column. So what number is in the second row, first column? Isn't it a 5?
It's fine.
That's the answer. 5.
Whoop, whoop. God damn, that's a squad.
Anybody comfortable with C, D, or E? Bryce?
Even a square matrix is 2 by 2.
A square matrix, an example of a square matrix is a 2 by 2, same number of rows as columns. So when you do the dimensions, the numbers are the same. So 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4. Same number of rows as columns. Okay? How about, do you know C? Know what we call 2?
1 element.
Did I, maybe I never gave you that word. Did I give you the word scalar? It's called a scalar. S-C-A-L-A-R. The coefficient, the number 2, is called a scalar. And what is the definition of a matrix? Okay, Dave Slay's going to say it louder.
A rectangular array of numbers arranged in rows and columns.
A rectangular array of numbers arranged in rows and columns. A rectangular array of numbers arranged in rows and columns. That's what a matrix is. All right? It's the number that is in the second row, first column. What number is in the second row, first
I don't even know how.
second row, first column?
A
Second row.
rectangular array set up in rows and columns.
Okay, let's look at the calculator problem.
I'll start with this.
This is number 8. Get your calculator out. If you don't have one, sit next to somebody who does.
Who look?
On the test, you will have this much space. It's going to look just like this. You don't need that much space because all you'll write down, anybody remember?
Is them digits.
The matrix.
We write down the matrix that we're going to put in. Now, for us, that's going to have P's, Q's, R's, S's, and numbers,
Yup.
right? So that first equation will be 1, -2, 3, -5. Let me make this a little bit bigger.
Oh wait, are we doing that thing?
Yeah, we doing that thing.
And -34. There is the first row. Now I want you to look at that and make sure you're good with that. 1, -2, 3, -5, -34. Now the next row, keep your beady little eyes open. Something's missing.
Oh, an R.
There's no R. So in the R column, you're going to have a 0 for that second equation.
Throw that 0 on there.
2, 1, 0, -4, -16. You gotta put the 0 in the right spot or you'll get the wrong answer. All right, look at the next one. Uh-oh, something's missing again. What's missing?
Them torque fest.
P.
No P. So 0, 1, -1, -1, 1. Oh my gosh. Look at the bottom one. We're missing what?
We missing R's and P's and S's.
So we have no P's, 2 Q's, 3 R's, no S's, and -5. This is the matrix you write down on your paper and you put into the calculator. Now you're going to RREF that. this matrix?
4 by 5.
4 by 5, very good.
Very good time.
Then you need to write down the matrix that comes out.
Okay. I am just killing the game for it.
So we write down the matrix we put in. We're real careful about zeros.
Yeah, that's.
And then we do our RREF thing, and we write down the matrix that comes out. That's
Yeah.
all you have to write down except for the answer. The answer should be a parentheses with 4 numbers in it. It's not an ordered pair, it's an ordered quadruple. 4 numbers in it, a P, Q, and R, and an S. What is P? -1. What is Q? R, S. There's your answer. Katie?
If you were to leave it with the second matrix, it would be wrong. Just like,
Well, if you're, no, not totally wrong, but to get full credit, you have to write down your answer. This is the answer. This is like all the work, and then this is the final answer.
This 4, I calculated all 3 right and got the same, like first 4 columns, but my 5th column is like -20.47,
My 5th column.
0.421.
You have one number in wrong here somewhere.
That's probably what I know.
Doodle
Probably just
head
one.
dummies.
Okay.
Maybe you left a negative off, maybe you,
That's probably it.
I don't know, maybe you switched 2 numbers around, I don't know. Make sure what's on your
Oh,
page.
yeah. Yeah.
Find it?
Yep.
Yeah.
This guy.
Okay, any question about that? Okay, kids, that's a guarantee, this practice test is exactly like the test. So this is on the test. If you haven't been practicing with a calculator, you need to start doing it, because you gotta be able to do that by yourself
All
on Wednesday.
Okay, there we go.
All right,
Oh,
let's
sorry.
go back to the front page of
I already got some. Thank you, though.
Right on.
Notice on the front page,
Sorry.
the problems all look the same, but you're asked to do them in different ways. So listen, I'm about to say something kind of important. You all have a favorite way. Whether you like Kramer's rule, substitution, elimination, you all have a favorite way. You don't get to do every problem with your favorite way. If we throw one more thing of lotion in this room, you must follow the directions. So when it says use substitution, even if you have the right answer, you don't get credit unless you use substitution. So, with that in mind and the fact that we don't have a whole lot of time left, which one do you want to practice?
Substitution.
Substitution. All right, so we're doing problem number 1. Who can tell me what the first step, if I'm using substitution,
Gotta get a
what's my
variable by
first
itself.
step? Get a variable by itself.
I would try one of the X's or the
And
Y's.
you're going to choose wisely. Maybe this one,
check here.
Maybe that one. I think it'd be easier to get this one by itself.
Yes, ma'am.
So x equals 7 minus 2y. Then I put this in for x. Because that's what x equals. So 2 times 7 minus 2y minus y equals 4. I take 7 minus 2y and put it in place of the x. This is the equation I rewrote. So this is out of here. I'm looking at this equation now, plugging that into this. So 14 minus 4y minus y equals 4. I just distributed. 14 minus 5y equals 4, collecting like terms. Now what?
Torque.
Subtract 14 from both sides. So negative 5y equals negative 10. And y would equal 2. Now, don't stop here. Remember how our calculator problem was that ordered quadruple thing? These answers are all going to be ordered pairs. You know the y part is 2. You need to find the x part. And you can do that anywhere. I like to put it right here. If y is 2, then x has to be 3. But you can plug that in anywhere. It doesn't matter where you put it in. Wherever you're comfortable putting it in. Your homework for Monday is to finish practice test 1. Now, there's not much left. We did most of it. Okay? If you want to work ahead and work on practice test 2 and 3, that's fine. Everything's due on Wednesday when we take the test. Thomas, will you turn us off? And I